Hello and welcome to SGPN's The Daily Dog. I'm your host, Britton Hess. I'm here with my favorite Underdog Fantasy Pick'em plays for Wednesday, June 25th, 2025. If you're new to Underdog Fantasy, sign up with the promo code DailyDog, DAILYDOG at UnderdogFantasy.com or in the Underdog Fantasy app for a 50% deposit match bonus worth up to $1,000. Best deposit match bonus out there, so you might as well take advantage of it if you can. We are going to be hitting baseball today. We're going to be hitting tennis today. We're going to hit soccer. We're going to hit WNBA. We got some long shot stuff at the end with a Lotto entry and our Dong squads. Yesterday, pretty good day. Hit 2 out of 4 of our MLB top lines, as I said. You know, you basically should be investing. If you're following all my plays, you should be putting most of that money on the baseball ones at the top. That is the 2-leg entries or the 2-pick entries that are usually player props, player or batter picks, and then also the pitchers combos, which is the yes run, no run, first innings. Those are where it's at. If you ask me, this time of year, this is when I'm hitting my stride. As I said yesterday, of the 6 baseball exclusive bets, went 3 out of 6. They were all, plus money. So that works out pretty well if you can do that long term. And then the rest of it, tennis right now is a little bit of a weird time considering we are, we're in the middle of the grass court season, but it's a week before Wimbledon. So who knows how invested a lot of these players are. And then also, soccer, the Club World Cup has been a little bit wild. Some of the results we've seen, but I like my picks today. Also WNBA, we've been trying to hit WNBA consistently, and home runs, more home run picks, the better. But let's get into it today. Ketel Marte higher than 7.5 fantasy points. My God, this guy loves right field up there where the White Sox play. Home runs in the last 2 games. Burke on the bump today for the White Sox against Marte. I mean, Burke is not terrible. I mean, he's still a White Sox pitcher, still White Sox pen. He's still a younger pitcher, only 25 years old. Ketel Marte, guys are going down left and right in this lineup. Ketel Marte is saying, yeah, I'll step up. No problem. I can handle this. I'm the guy. I'm the man. I will make sure that we score runs. I'm going to hit home runs myself. So, you just get him on base, and he's going to get higher than 7.5 fantasy points here. And then I'm also going to pair it with Mike Trout, higher than 1.5 total bases. Trout is one of those guys that I think, he saw a teammate have a huge day yesterday. Christian Moore, my God, has the game-tying homer and then the game-winning home run in extra innings. Pretty spectacular performance by that young player. But I think Trout really wants to remind everybody just who they're dealing with when he is at the plate. He's going against Richard Fitz. Richard Fitz is not very good. 4.71 ERA, 1.29 WHIP. A lot of 5 earned in his last start. Well, actually, it was 1 inning against the Angels in his last start. So, and that was at the beginning of the month. I really do like Trout higher than 1.5 total bases here. That's a 3x multiplier. MLB entry number 2, Luis Arraez higher than 1.5 total bases. I believe that your Arraez is going to arise to the occasion here against the Nationals, MacKenzie Gore. MacKenzie Gore is a former Padre, but it really doesn't matter. We get hits with Luis Arraez. Is it going to be a double? Is it going to be a couple singles? I'm not sure, but Arraez can hit anybody. It's kind of annoying, though, if you're like a Padres fan. I'm not. I'm a Dodgers fan, but the way they play so many close games is pretty ridiculous. When they win, it's a 1-run game, and they had to come back yesterday. But we'll see if Arraez can contribute to a more decisive victory with Nick Pivetta on the bump. Pairing that with Byron Buxton higher than 1.5 total bases. I love big bucks. Going into George Kirby. George Kirby not been great this year. He's had a couple good starts. He got a late start to the year. He didn't get his first start until late last month, actually. So he's only had 6 starts on the year, but he is allowed, he's allowed 5 or more. He's allowed 5 or more hits in all but one of those starts. So I really do think Buxton is going to be rounding those bases, hitting a double or a home run or something in this one. So Luis Arraez higher than 1.5 total bases. Buxton higher than 1.5 total bases. 3.68x multiplier. Pretty juicy one there. MLB entry number 3. Goldie is having a terrible trip to Cincinnati. I don't think that's going to continue. Give me Paul Goldschmidt higher than 1.5 total bases. I just think that he's too good to be hitting this poorly at the plate this often. So give me Goldie higher than 1.5 total bases. I'm going back to the well with my man Freddie Freeman higher than 0.5 RBIs against the Rockies. Felt like everybody had a big day except for Freddie Freeman yesterday. He gets to go against Chase Dollander here, another righty. So I like our chances here with Freddie Freeman driving in Shohei or Mookie in this spot. 3x multiplier on that one. MLB entry number 4, Lawbutt, my man Lawrence Butler, higher the 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs against Jack Flaherty and the Tigers. Laba isn't as at the top of the order as often anymore, but he is a lefty versus a righty here, so he potentially can get that opportunity. The younger guys are getting on base ahead of him, so he can drive runs in and they can drive him in. And also maybe he is going to be batting at the top of the order here. We'll see how the Athletics play it. And then I'm pairing him with Nolan Arenado, higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs against Matt Boyd and the Cubs. Just Arenado is kind of flying under the radar right now. Some other of these young players are coming along for the Cardinals. Cardinals, don't look now, are 2 games back, 3 in the loss column against the Cubs right now. They've been making progress in this series. I don't necessarily think it's going to stop here. Freddie's been good. Boyd's been pretty good. But I think Arenado has a big game. So 3.18x multiplier with Butler higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. That's Lawrence Butler of the Athletics, and Nolan Arenado higher than 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs for the Cardinals. Pitchers number 1. MacKenzie, Gore, Nick Pivetta, lower than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Pivetta having a great year. MacKenzie Gore, pretty good pitcher as well. These offenses are a little bit sus, if you ask me. They're kind of boom or bust. Mostly the Nationals are boom or bust, and the Padres just try to win games with like 3-2, 4-3, that type of thing. Don't necessarily think they're going to be starting off at going out of the gates flying here. Pairing that with George Kirby, Joe Ryan, higher than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. I'm expecting a home run in the first inning, and I think it's probably going to be given up by George Kirby. It's going to be, in the 60s in Minnesota. We'll see how the wind ends up playing right before first pitch is thrown. But I do think that there's going to be a run here because I think there's a high equity with a home run being thrown a home run pitch being thrown by George Kirby. That is a 3.12x multiplier. Pitchers number 2, Paul Skeens, Jacob Misiorowski, lower than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. These guys are young gunslingers who are going to be trying to see who can throw the ball the hardest out there. I think both these offenses are going to take some time to adjust. Skeen's obviously very good, and as I said, Jacob Misiorowski is taken the league by storm with his high heat. I'm going to pair that with Max Scherzer and Gavin Williams, higher than 0.5 first inning runs allowed. Scherzer, first start of the year. Gavin Williams, I think he's overrated. I think there's going to be a home run in the first inning of this game for sure in Cleveland. Then that is only a 2.48 or 2.46x multiplier. But at the end of the day, it's about the wins. It's not necessarily about always having the biggest multiplier. Tennis entry number 1. We're going to go Taylor Fritz, higher than 23.5 games against João Fonseca. Fonseca finding his footing on grass. Obviously, young player, not familiar with grass. He came up in South America, out of Brazil, mostly used to clay. Very talented player, very powerful player. So if he can adjust his game to the grass, he should be good. And then Fritz should just be able to draw this thing out, get some tie breaks, probably 3 sets here, though. And then Robert Bautista Agut, lower than 22.5 games played versus Tomic, who's a 32-year-old. Bautista Agut is actually older than him, but Tomic has been kind of bouncing around the challenger ranks lately. I think Bautista Agut on the grass courts of Mallorca is going to do just fine here. So give me lower than 22.5 games played. I think he's going to roll through them. 2.87x multiplier there with under games played, lower games played, lower than 22.5, and Roberto Bautista Agut, higher than 23.5 games played for Taylor Fritz versus João Fonseca. Tennis number 2, Jelena Ostapenko, higher than 21.5 games against Alexandra Ayala. Ayala has just been tough. She's just been tough this year. She's kind of came out of nowhere, and all of a sudden she's like a contender in a lot of these tournaments. Ostapenko, I don't know how locked in she's going to be. I think that we're going to go 3 sets here because Ostapenko does that a lot, and Ayala is just a tough competitor. Mira Andreeva, higher than 21.5 games played versus Noskova. I think that we're going to go 3 sets in this one as well. These women know each other well. Mira, not necessarily a big-time grass competitor yet. Noskova's power should test her, so we should get tie breaks. We should get 3 sets, 3x multiplier on that one. All right, soccer number 1 in this crazy Champions League, FIFA Club World Cup. I keep on calling it the wrong thing. We're going to go with John Arias, higher than 0.5 goals and assists too many Fluminense, too many Brazilian and Argentinian clubs on my radar for the first time in a while. But John Arias, he's scored in this tournament. I think that they're going to score often in this one. And then I'm going to pair it with Joe Bellingham, not Jude Bellingham, Joe Bellingham of the Borussia Dortmund, higher than 0.5 goals and assists. He didn't last game. Young player, only 19, finding his footing on these big stakes and international tournaments. That is a 3.21x multiplier. Soccer number 2, Lautaro Martinez, higher than 0.5 goals for Inter.
against River Plate. Actually, important game for Inter. And then also another important game for Monterrey. So I'm going to be taking Shusaki Nishikawa, goalie of Urawa Reds, higher than 1.5 goals allowed. So Lautaro Martinez, higher than 0.5 goals. Shusaku Nishikawa, higher than 1.5 goals allowed. 2.95x multiplier on that one. Let's get into the WNBA. Aja Wilson, higher than 21.5 points against the Sun. I like our chances there. And then Sabrina Ionescu, higher than 19.5 points. She let us down last time. We're going back to the well. 2.76x multiplier. Only one WNBA entry today. Lotto entry number 1, though. Brianna Stewart, higher than 7.5 rebounds. She's gotten 8-9 rebounds plenty of times this year. I think that she is going to be able to bang around inside against the Valkyries and get higher than 7.5 rebounds. I'm going to take Jacob deGrom, higher than 7.5 strikeouts against the Orioles. Orioles love to swing for the fences. That means they can be striking out quite a bit. Then Shohei Ohtani, higher than 1.5 runs scored at Coors Field. You know that is always going to be attractive with a player like him in a hitting environment like that. And then Logan Webb, first earned run allowed. No, he's not going to allow the first run in this game against the Marlins. 28.34x flex at 17x if it goes 4 for 4, 4.25x if it goes 3 out of 4. Dong squad number 1, Mike Trout, higher than 0.5 home runs. Byron Buxton, higher than 0.5 home runs. Tommy Edman, higher than 0.5 home runs. 103.95x or 51.97x / 10.43x if it goes 2 out of 3. Let's get 2 out of 3. And then, if we get another one, even better. Dong squad number 2, going back to Paul Goldschmidt, higher than 0.5 home runs. Christian Walker, higher than 0.5 home runs. He has hit 2 off a Wheeler in the past, actually, and only 10 at-bats. Juan Soto, higher than 0.5 home runs against young Didier Fuentes for the Braves. 102.96x multiplier, 51.48x if it goes 3 for 3 on the flex, 7.42x if it goes 2 out of 3 on the flex. All right, that's all I got for you today. Good luck on your picks, and let's make some money.